Howdy folks, and today's Star Wars lore episode is on the Imperial Troop Transport. Resembling a grey brick with doors, the Imperial Troop Transport, or ITT, was a basic armoured repulsor vehicle designed to carry troops, equipment and prisoners. It was designed by the ever-reliable Abrikian Industries, and became an essential workhorse on many occupied worlds, but of course, being an Imperial military vehicle, it also had an unpleasant side to it. The primary role of the ITT was as a troop transport, specifically one for areas where combat with local insurgents was likely, and at the same time its menacingly solid presence, obvious weapons and distinctive engine sound made it a useful way of reminding a pacified population that the Empire was ready to use force if necessary and at a moment's notice. Able to comfortably carry a squad of 6 to 10 soldiers and their commander inside the main body of the vehicle, the ITT was crewed by a driver and a gunner, with additional space in the forward cabin for commander if the operation called for it. There were 6 compartments on the outside of the vehicle, 3 on each side, that were normally used to transport prisoners that the arresting officer wanted to show off to the rest of the population as both a warning and as an exercise in humiliation. Occasionally, troops would use them, or they could be packed with supplies. Now, the vehicle wasn't especially fast, chugging along at a maximum of 150 kilometers an hour, and it was rather sluggish to turn. Its solid armor and relatively high hovering height, however, meant it could roll over or smash through almost anything it hit. The people of any world where ITTs operated very quickly learned to get out of the way. Now, the ITT was not intended as a combat vehicle. It was far too slow and clumsy for that. It was purely just a transport. But because of its ability to hover so high and thanks to its thick base armor, it could deal with all but the most focused and powerful landmines set by insurgents. Its 3 weapons were all basic lasers designed to chew up the scenery, which was useful for scaring civilians as well as covering the troops disembarking from either side of the doors, from either of the side doors. There were 2 forward-mounted light lasers on lateral turret mounts and a top-mounted dual heavy laser cannon turret. Now, the latter could be removed if additional storage space was required on the top of the vehicle, and that top turret had a serious vulnerability. Now, if anything was jammed in either barrel, such as a rock or even a wrench, the entire turret would explode when the thing was fired. This did no lasting harm to the vehicle or those within, but it was a severe inconvenience for everyone because it just took the turret out of action entirely. Now, the ITT, or as it was originally known by in schematics and when built, the K79S80 transport, was about as unimaginative a vehicle as could be conceived. Pretty much a block of armor with a powerful repulsor engine. Did everything the Empire needed it to, and no more. In short, it was pretty much perfect. The engine on the Imperial Troop Transport made a deep, rhythmical thrumming noise that could be heard some distance away, and oppressed peoples quickly learned to fear the sound. Now, Abrikian Industries installed a far more powerful repulsor lift than was necessary, while also fixing the flight ceiling for the vehicle at a meter. This allowed the ITT to carry an impressive amount of cargo, almost half its not inconsiderable weight again, without suffering any loss in performance. Now, to assist in cargo handling, the roof and the 6 side compartments could be magnetized and the top turret could be removed. When the vehicle was stopped, it rested on heavy skids built into the base. Now, access to the interior of the vehicle was from one of 2 hatches on either side of the front cabin. Inside, a large door in the bulkhead granted entrance to the rear compartment, and there was a lot of space inside the ITTs. The rear cabin could seat 8 troopers or prisoners, while a further 4 could stand. The front cabin had space for the driver and a gunner, a commander, and 2 to 4 passengers. The side access doors folded out and then slotted back into the ceiling of the cabin. They were one of the weakest points in the vehicle, despite being essentially a solid slab of metal. If an ion charge was used to disrupt the locking mechanism, the door quickly swung out of the way and a boarder had easy access. The cabin had wide, narrow, transparent steel windows though terrain sensors fed information into the driver's helmet HUD and to screens in the vehicle if visibility was an issue. On the side of the vehicle, the 6 passenger pods were primarily for transporting and showing off prisoners. A bound victim was held behind doors that locked from a central panel. The doors came up to just below the neck on an average height human. It wasn't a comfortable way to travel as the compartment was too narrow to sit down in. The prisoner would be rattled about during the journey and left tired, sore and thoroughly demoralized by its end. But of course this was entirely intentional. Now, the weapons aboard the ITT could be fired from either driver station as their controls were exactly the same. Their controls were basic and there was no assisted targeting. If there was only the one driver who had to act as gunner too, the weapons could be set to fire forward to clear a path for the vehicle. But then again, thanks to its heavy armor, in most situations there was little need to clear a path with the cannons. Now, the ITT could bullishly smash its way through most obstacles. On Lothal, Sabine Wren knocked an all-terrain defense pod over and hammered aside another ITT as she and her friends escaped Capital City by going through an Imperial roadblock. And when the surly astromech chopper fired on an ITT using the cannon aboard the shuttle Phantom, the multiple blasts didn't destroy the vehicle. It was brought down by human error as the driver couldn't maintain control under the physical impacts of the shots and flipped his vehicle. Once righted by a recovery vehicle, it could be driven again. Now, the ITT might have been a drivable armored brick, but it was a very efficient drivable armored brick. And there you have it. That is the Imperial Troop Transport, or ITT, as seen used by the Empire on Lothal during the TV series Star Wars Rebels. So if you like the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to keep up to date with all my videos, and leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the video, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Later.